Our pay should reflect what it is going on in that state. And the pay here does not reflect Massachusetts. It's just like you're getting paid low, and it's just like so many people. And then I hate to hear people, oh, well, people need to work. They don't need to hand out. Yes, they do, because they're working full-time jobs and they still can't afford to live.
It's going to be difficult because if they were able to decrease rent currently, it's not going to be possible because it's just going to probably crash the economy here. But what they could do is increase the minimum wage. So, yeah, people could have a better and comfortable life here, but that's going to take a while.
Hey, y'all. Welcome back to Through with a Splash of Tea, a podcast where conversation is key. I'm your host, Cass, and let's get right into it. So today, as you guys can see, oh, sorry, I almost broke the equipment. As you guys can see, we have Max and Lorna back.
Hello.
Yay! Entering the ladies' room. First things first, ladies, thank you guys so much for coming back.
Thank you for
having
us.
All right, Lorna, what are we discussing today?
We are discussing
the brokenness that we have in this economy, okay?
This economy.
Cost of living.
We are discussing, my mind just went totally blank.
That's it.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, you thought we were going to say all four?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no. We're recording 4 episodes today, but we're only talking about one at a time. Okay. So right now we're talking about cost of living and brokenness. And you're both right. So today's episode is literally talking about cost of living and how it's like transcended over time. So we're all around the same general areas between like 30s to 40s. So like we've grown up and like seen like some of the 90s, early 2000s for sure and all that.
Me. I've seen more of it, but
So you love to jump in.
Right. I'm a 90s girl. I'm an 80s baby, but a 90s girl.
Well, honestly, I do love the fact that you were able to grow up in the 90s.
Yes.
Versus
no cell phones.
Yeah.
Like
you were able to experience that. I like.
Yes.
Yes. All right. So I'm going to hit you guys with some facts that I learned today. And then we can talk about, well, first things I want to talk about is like rent and mortgage, like rent and mortgage.
Mm-hmm.
Like the big thing, because like that I was in my research. Okay. Well, let me just dive into it. Okay. First things first, I'm going to have you guys guess this one, the 2 most dramatic. So I asked Google, what was the average rent for a 1-bedroom apartment in America in 2000? So I did that for 2000, 2010, 2019. I wanted to do 2020, but 2020 was like a fluke year because of COVID. So I did 2000, 2010, 2019, and 2025.
Okay.
So I'm going to ask you guys to guess for 2000 and 2025. And then I'll just go through all of them and like let you guys know how. So for 2000, what was the average cost of a 1-bedroom apartment in the U.S.?
I'd say 1,800.
1,800, okay.
Okay, so I did have a 1-bedroom apartment, but it was a little bit after.
Okay.
And I would say we were paying $900 for a 1-bedroom.
900.
Yes.
900 or 1,800.
Now I want to change my answer.
So I would say I would leave it at like 1,000. I'd say $1,000 for a 1-bedroom.
1,000 and 1,800.
All right, yeah.
So in 2000, it was anywhere between $865 and $900.
Yeah.
For a 1-bedroom.
Wow. Yeah, I know. Because we paid $900. Yeah.
Nah, for a 1-bedroom.
But then back then I was like, oh my God, I got to pay $900. How am I going to get this $900? So, but I had, my partner at the time, we were paying it together. But then I kicked him out. And then that's when I was like, oh my God, how am I going to pay this by myself? But the Lord made a way because I got a promotion at work and I was an assistant manager. They promoted me to assistant manager and I was able to pay the $900 by myself.
You see? You see the Lord? Because the Lord knew that relationship wasn't good for you. It had money to help you pay your bills. Now let's fast forward to 2025.
$3,000. 1-bedroom.
Damn. 3,000.
No. What's the average for a 1-bedroom apartment?
3,000.
3,000.
According to Google, anywhere from $1,450 to $1,593.
Oh, that's not bad.
That probably because it includes the South. That's probably why.
Yeah, in the South, it's like you can go to Alabama and get you a 4-bedroom apartment for $1,100. Like that's and I'm like,
what am I doing here?
Yeah, like And
What
that's
am I
what-
doing
No,
here?
literally, we're
Yeah.
insane. So basically, well, it's also been 25 years, so we have to take that into account as well. But the average in 2000 was around $900, and then the average rent cost for a 1-bedroom in 2025 was around $1,593, so about $1,600. That's crazy, from 900 to 1,600. So for people that like not everyone pays rent, not everyone owns a home, not everyone's like paying mortgage and stuff. I was like, okay, what can like people digest this as that don't pay rent, that don't pay mortgage? And I was like, milk. Like, how much was milk? So in 2000, milk was around 280.
Right.
Now, milk
Like
is
five
around
something.
435.
Yeah.
Depending what milk you're buying as well.
Depending on the milk.
Because it'd be like $7.
Yeah.
2000, 280. 2010, 330. 2019, right around 304. So it actually went down. And then 2025, 435.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Damn, these cows is,
Yeah.
I should buy a cow. Why
At
don't
this point. And chickens.
They working them nips, getting that milk.
Yeah, getting all that, and the meat too. Some people be like,
Yeah.
I bought half a cow and it's in my freezer.
Yeah, exactly. Where you getting this cow from? Let me know where I can get the good cows, because I need it. I got mouths to feed.
I think I got so much going on, but
Yeah.
just don't need a whole cow. I need it all.
Right. I need the
Yeah.
whole thing.
Okay, but we also have to keep in mind that minimum wage has raised as well. Like, what is it now?
Barely,
$20?
barely.
Barely.
Girl,
Yeah,
no.
barely.
When in minimum wage, I started with minimum wage when I was 16, and it was $8, and now it's like
But-
$20, right?
No,
No.
in a lot of different
No.
states, it's still really low.
Let's
It's
search
really,
it
really
up.
low.
Massachusetts.
Yeah, and see, we're thinking of Massachusetts because we live in a state that's expensive as I don't know what. But
Yeah.
when you look at, like I say, like Alabama, it's the minimum wage is not that much. But there you can buy a house. You can buy a house for like 60,000, 50,000. And it's just like up here, you can't even look at a house that's under $500,000. And it's like a little shack
That
that's
is
in the
true.
corner in the worst neighborhood. Like, and it's just like,
Yeah.
why?
I just
That is
sacrifice
true.
so much and then spend so much in order to get like a little pot of something.
Our pay should reflect what it is going on in that state. And the pay here does not reflect Massachusetts. It's just like you're getting paid low, and then it's just like so many people. And then I hate to hear people, oh, well, people need to work. They don't need to hand out. Yes, they do, because they're working full-time jobs and they still can't afford to live.
Yeah.
And it's sad.
Yeah, but a lot of people would say that that's just being financially unruly or just not being able to handle your finances.
No, it's
No,
just like,
I
and
don't
people
think
are
so.
stretched thin. And then if you have kids on top of that, it makes it even worse. And then it's like you have to pay for daycare. Then sometimes you can't afford daycare. And it's
Daycare is expensive.
It's very expensive, very expensive. And
So
it's just like,
minimum wage. Sorry.
no,
Go ahead.
No,
Finish.
go. I'm done. I'm going.
She's like, I want to know what it is.
So minimum wage for Massachusetts is $15 for as of now. But it says national average remains constrained by federal minimum wage policy, which has remained unchanged at $7.25 per
Yeah.
hour since 2009, which means that it hasn't changed for many states.
Yeah.
This is the average for
Massachusetts
United
has
States.
chosen to change it,
Yes.
but federally, people aren't mandatorily having to change it,
Yeah.
and it's only at $7.
$7.25. Yep.
That's disgusting. That is disgusting.
And they want
I
people to
like-
live off of that.
I like that you said that our pay should reflect the state that we live in.
It
Because,
does.
Yeah.
It
It should. Yeah. If I live in a more expensive state, my minimum wage and my pay should, hold on. Thinking this through as I'm speaking it. Our minimum wage reflects that we live in a more expensive state, but it
Yeah.
does not, $15 is still not
Yeah.
enough.
What you gonna do
No.
with $15? Like, you can't really do anything. And then you have to get housing. You have to get
so
food stamps. You have to get all this stuff because it's not enough. It's not enough.
But is minimum wage something that you should be able to run your household off of? Yes.
The
Or
state
no?
should be able, like, they should have it to where you could run your household off of it, but that's not
Why?
it. Because if you're getting paid $15 an hour and that's the average, and that's what they're saying that the minimum wage is, everybody should be able to live
Off
on
of that.
Yeah, off of that.
But can people say that minimum wage, the idea of minimum wage is for a startup? So like the 16, 17, 18-year-old. So should they be given money enough to be able to live off of and run and live in an apartment and all that stuff if it is a startup amount. But is minimum wage a startup amount, or should you be able to live off of it as a mom, as a dad, as
Some people can't get more than what the minimum wage is.
job?
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, if I can only work at Walmart or McDonald's or whatever, shouldn't I still have the opportunity to make
Yeah.
more? But don't I? If I become a manager,
Yes.
still already
Yeah.
given that opportunity?
But a lot of places, some places you can't even go up in management because it's just like,
There's so
Like, if I
many
don't-
positions
yeah,
that they
it's
have
like
as
the people
well.
are not leaving those positions. So how are you going to go up in like it's,
It doesn't.
yeah.
So minimum wage should be in an amount that you're able to live off of.
Yes.
Like, yeah.
Yes, I think so.
And the thing is that like here it's like our pay is like, okay, we're living decently. But if I was to go down south and with the same pay, I would be living lavishly. And it's just like, it should not be that way. I should be able to live comfortably here where I am. But right now I'm just like, oh shoot, am I gonna have enough next week or the next week to pay my rent? Because I don't get, I make too much to get, assistance and everything like that. So I have to come out of my pocket for everything. And everything is so expensive. If I go to the store, I get 2 bags of groceries, it's $200
Yeah.
with barely nothing in there. And I'm like, where did my money go?
Yeah.
Piece of celery.
Yeah,
and
like-
one jug of
And then I'm
milk.
getting the store brand. So it's like, I got to get the Fruity O's instead of the Fruity Pebbles. Like, or like, come on.
Come on. I don't know why, like, well, y'all know I don't cook. Y'all should know by now I don't cook. So I'm not to me. But I don't know why, like, this TikTok, like, hit me so hard. I recently stumbled across this girl 2 days ago. She was like, I have $10 on $10. Let me come with me to Aldi's so we can buy dinner for $10 to feed 5. And I'm looking at her like,
To feed 5.
$5 is not a lot of money. But I was like, to feed 5, she should be able to, like, she'll be able to make something happen. Like, this is like a cute little TikTok.
Right.
She went into Aldi, let me tell you. She got one thing of chicken and one thing of rice. And that was the $10.
Yeah.
And a lot of people were like, oh, that's the place that you went, blah, blah, blah. She did get another thing of beans, but it was $11.45 after she did all the things. But I was watching this video and people were like, it's where you went. And you should have went to Aldi. You should have went to Market Basket. You should have went somewhere else. I'm watching this video and I was like, I don't believe that if she went to a different location, it would have been so drastically different where I
Yeah.
wouldn't be shocked to have watched this video.
Not only
Out-
that people aren't taking into account that you're wasting gas as you're moving around to get these sales in groceries.
Yeah. So
I have to jump around to.
that Stop and Shop might be 5 minutes away, but that Market Basket might be 20. And that's wasting more gas.
In order to get there.
And then you got to spend more money to put more gas inside your tank because you didn't went further to do things. Like,
Yeah.
no, it shouldn't happen that way.
It shouldn't have to be that way. I shouldn't have to. And I'm not saying you should be able to make dinner for $5 or $6 or $7 on $10. It was just like such an easy number where I could see, damn, she's literally only getting 2 things
Yeah.
with $10. And
Yeah.
I like,
And with me, my son, he wanted some spaghetti. I was like, all right, let me go get some meat and, all the things. I went to go and get a pack of meat, the littlest thing of meat, and it's like $10 right there. And I'm
Mhm.
like, wait a minute. I remember when I was paying like $5 to get a pack of meat, and now it's 10. And it's just like, it keeps going up. But then that minimum wage is kind of staying where it is, but everything else is going up, going up, going up. And it's just like, I don't know.
minimum wage is 15.
We tired. We tired
Yeah.
to be broke.
When I was 16, it was 8 because I was getting paid minimum wage. I'm 31 now. That was what, 15 years ago?
Yeah.
So in 15 years, we only went up $8.
But you know how much that house,
That's it,
cost 15 years ago, and now
That
it's
is it.
like everything don't reflect. Like housing prices are not reflective of
Yeah.
everything else is going up, and it's just like it's like you're just poor, and you can't elevate, you can't build generational wealth because you can't buy that house to have for your kids to have when you pass because everything is going up.
So is that part of the plan? Is that part of like the top 10% plan? Like obviously we need more middle class in order to feed the top 10, whatever. Is that part of the plan? Like if I keep making life too expensive for them, then they will continue to keep working for a life that's too expensive.
Exactly,
And
yep.
fueling me.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Because you're trying to
Pretty
reach
much.
that goal of getting the house, but you're never going to reach it because your pay is not going to get you there. So you're going to have to continue to work and like, you know what? I'm going to get it. I'm going to get it. I'm going to get it. And that thought in your head, especially when you have a family that you're dependent upon you and everything. So you're trying to, I got to work. I got to work. I got to work. I got to work. And then that person that owns that company that you're working for is just reaping the benefits. They're getting, but they have multiple houses. They have multiple businesses and they're
Yeah.
doing all that for their kids. And then you're still trying to scrape to the top and you're never going to get there.
The American dream, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm looking for the Caribbean dream at this point.
Lorna said yes. What else
Exactly.
you got? What else? Max, I want you to talk about your transition. Was it last year or 2 years ago? So Lorna lives in an apartment, but she's living in an apartment in that specific apartment for like ever, which I love that.
Yeah.
I still live at home with my mom, but Max used to live with her mom. Used to live with her family, not just her mom. Used to live with her family, and then she got her own apartment. I want to say it was 2024 or was it 25 in 2024. So within the last few years, she
Actually, 2025.
it was 5. It was last year.
Yeah, last
I
year.
don't feel like it was 4. Interesting. She's most recently done the transition, a large transition from being home to having her own place, different utilities, and all that stuff. So I want to know how that impacted you and how it went from going to pay rent for your mom to like this new place.
So my mom has Section 8. So rent wasn't as much when I was living with her, but I was the one that was providing for her because she didn't have a job during the time. So it was a little easier because it was a set amount. And we each, like my sisters and I, we would share responsibilities, which was nice.
Yes.
But now that I'm living alone, I'm like, damn, this is real.
Yeah.
I'm a real adult now.
Mhm.
But it's very liberating. I like the peace. I like the freedom that I have with my own space. Sometimes I do look at my rent and I'm like, this amount for just one apartment for a 1-bedroom is a little insane, but because I currently pay $2,200. I know that there are people out there that pay a little bit more, but I'm just like, I don't know if it's worth it. And some people have told me, they're like, you might as well have bought a house and pay off your mortgage with that. But I'm like, you also have to take into account that when you buy a house, you're responsible for that house. You can't call up maintenance and be like, hey, can you come and fix my boiler? Like, no, you're responsible for that. You have to find ways to get that fixed. Or fix them yourself. I don't know. Go on YouTube or something, but
It's all on you. Yeah, you're right.
so you also have to take into account that you need an emergency fund when you buy a house. So I was like, yeah, I don't have the funds for that, but I do have the funds to rent at the moment. And it's been a good experience so far.
You like
So
it.
I like it.
Good. I love it. I already knew you liked it, but if viewers didn't know. I want you to deep dive because some people are probably thinking like, oh my gosh, she pays $2,200 for rent. Like, that's crazy. She's talking about having to pay everything on her own or do everything on her own if she owns a house, but that's still a lot of money. Okay, yeah. But let Max tell you what recently happened to her in her apartment. And y'all talking about, because this is for those thinking like, oh, she might as well. Yeah, she might as well. Because it would all be on her, like it'd all be her own and whatever, it'd be going towards hers. But there were also a lot of costly things that happen with homes. So
Yes.
Max, tell us what happened in your apartment. And then you think about if you own a home, how much you would spend on this if it was your house.
Yeah. So mid-October, after I got back from my vacation from Vegas, I wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning hearing water sounds. I'm like, oh, it's not raining. I looked out the window, no rain. I'm like, okay, cool. Maybe I left the shower on. No shower head was on. Nothing was on. Open my bathroom door. I come out to a waterfall in the middle of my kitchen. So the kitchen was flooding. I don't know why. So I called maintenance, and within 30 minutes, they came over. They cleaned everything up. But they still had to wait for everything in the ceiling to dry up. So they left the fan on, just hitting the ceiling. Mind you, my ceilings are pretty high. So fan is hitting the ceiling for like 3 or 4 days. Nothing's drying up. So I'm like, you know what? I'm turning this shit off. I'm taking it out. I'm tired of this. I can't sleep at night because this shit is on 24/7. So I start contacting maintenance and nobody's responding. And it was a situation where I had to deal with a little different because I didn't want to withhold my rent because that could be a little iffy here in Massachusetts. But eventually I did have to withhold my rent so they could come over and fix the situation. And when they finally did, they did a terrible job because I think I still have mold growing up there in the ceiling. They just patched everything up and they were like, oh, everything's fine now.
Love it.
Yeah. It's been an experience. Yeah.
And imagine if she owned a home, you guys, and that happened. Like, it would just be so
Thousands and
costly.
thousands, yeah.
Thousands and thousands. And then if it was the same exact scenario where they did the work, they didn't do a good job, now you have to get another contractor in there because you probably don't want the same contract company doing it, while also trying to fight and get your money back from the first. Like, it's so I understand. As a homeowner, I understand why people do not want to buy homes. Not saying that that's max, but I understand when people say, like, it's a lot of headache, because it is. Like, it is.
Yeah.
Well, me trying to buy a home, because I was in that process of trying to buy a home, and the mortgage amounts were outrageous. They approved me for $550,000 for a house. So when I had a realtor, everything, we were looking at houses, they were like, oh yeah, your mortgage is gonna be $4,000, this and this. I'm like, wait a minute. Wait a minute. With $4,000 what?
$4,000, baby.
I don't want a 4 to begin it at all. Like, there should be no 4 in the front.
What is, like, pissed?
It should be down the line. Yeah, I know. Like, it should be down the line, not the first number, because for nothing. I don't want to pay for nothing. For nothing. I was like, no.
Got the wrong one.
Yeah, you must be looking at the wrong file, because I can ask for $1 million house or anything like that. I want my file. The poor people file, you know.
My name is Lorna. I don't know.
Not Lorena, not Lauren, Lorna. Look at that file, because that's the number I need to know.
Not Lauren. Oh my God.
And then I'm like, so my home journey is cut off right now because I'm not paying for nothing. And now if you talk about 100 for 100, yeah, that sounds more like it, but I'm not paying 4,000. No 3 numbers is coming after that first number.
Girl, you know damn well there's not gonna be a mortgage of $400. Not here.
That's wild.
But yeah,
$4,000 mortgage. Imagine.
Yeah, no, it's almost 5,000. It was 4,000. The number that began was 4,000. I was like, yeah, no, thank you.
Next.
No, thank you. So then I'm like, I can never afford a $550,000 mortgage. But
never say never.
Right, and that's just at that rate that you.
No, at this point, I will not be doing that. I'm not about to be house poor. Me just sitting up in a house. No furniture, no nothing, no water, no gas, because I'm paying the mortgage. You know,
so, I got the house. I don't know about
that.
And I don't know if you watch the TikToks. They're like, okay, I rented this apartment, but I only have money for the rent. So they sitting on the floor looking like, that's what I would only have money for the mortgage. And then I'll be scraping by with that. Like,
no. Yeah.
You know, so yeah, no, that's
not okay at all.
Yeah, it's not at all.
Alrighty, ladies. Closing thoughts on the cost of living. Lorna?
They need to bring that stuff down, because I want the American dream. Can't get it in Massachusetts if you don't have a company or something like that. That makes a lot of money.
Oh, you marry a rich man. I don't know.
I know.
Mm-hmm. Or you sacrifice your life in order to build it and then hope that it stays in your family. But
that too.
It takes your whole life to build, like, you know, you got to give it all. Max?
Honestly, it's going to be difficult, because if they were able to decrease rent currently, it's not going to be possible, because it's just going to probably crash the economy here. But what they could do is increase the minimum wage. So yeah, people could have a better and comfortable life here, but that's going to take a while.
$50 minimum.
Yeah,
$50 minimum wherever you work. McDonald's, $50. $50. Walmart, $50.
House market gonna be
I know.
20 million.
Huh?
A 2-family.
For a 2-bedroom house,
2-bedroom,
1.5, you know.
Wild. I agree. I think that there is definitely a better system that we can have in place. It probably doesn't work for the top 10%. But I'm just thinking, like, if we just take 1 second, just 1 second, and if you look at your bank account and it has $50 million in it, and I get it, you worked and you groveled and you climbed the ladder in order to get that $50 million.
Not everyone, though.
Not everybody. But if you did, and that year you made, in 1 year, if you were able to make 50, maybe next year, maybe you can make 45, and like the rest of the world can like be a little better. And
Yeah.
all of your friends can make a little bit less, and we can all.
Yep.
But then again, I'm not like down with the rich. I'm not one of those people because they did work hard to get this stuff. And I do feel like they just take advantage of the tax code. They don't create a new
Yes.
code.
But-
Take
Yes, they
advantage of
do.
it.
What I heard is something about, I got to look it up because don't quote me on it, but they did increase the taxes on the rich, like people that make a certain amount, like $1 million or so. They did increase that. And the rich was like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
In Massachusetts, some other places they don't want to do that. But
I heard the same thing. I heard
yeah,
that.
I can't remember exactly what it was, but I got to look it up again. But yeah, they increased the amount for something, and I can't remember, and they were okay with it.
They were fine.
Yeah, they were okay with paying a little more taxes because they know they have the money. So why not,
Yeah. Yeah. I don't necessarily love going the tax route in order to essentially tax the rich, because most rich will be like, all right, I'm fine. I don't pay taxes on the majority of the shit I own anyways. Like, I'll
Right.
just, filter it through. I'll just have it in
Yeah.
stocks,
Mhm.
But then again, the flip side is I'm going to charge the rich a fee for being rich. That's crazy. Like,
Yeah,
this
that
is
is
a fee to help the middle class. I mean, they're going to be like, no, what the hell? No. But that's kind of what the vibe has to be. It has to be like, all right, you guys kind of help us. Like, forget the tax. Like, you still pay your normal, but you got to give them a little something, raise the middle class, and then, easier said than done, I guess.
That's a lot.
On that note, we're going to wrap this up. So thank you for watching if you watched. Thanks for listening if you listened. You can catch Through with a splash of tea on all streaming platforms, including YouTube. Bye now.